This is exactly what the Jets need after Justin Fields has struggled to start his New York Jets career. Insiders are looking at what quarterbacks are going to be available in the NFL draft this season, and they have chosen one who right now is looking like the consensus number one overall quarterback in the class and probably the number one overall pick, and we got to break it all down. What's up, guys? I'm Matt Long. Welcome to Jets Digest. Before we hop into the video for today, only 30.7% of viewers are subscribed to the channel. So if you are not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. We got to break down these guys' strengths and weaknesses. But first, let's go to what was said by the Jet Press. A new regime is going to want to hitch its wagon to a hand-picked quarterback, and there has not been a hotter name at the position so far in this college football season than Indiana's Fernando Mendoza. Mendoza is a 21-year-old, 6'5", 225-pound specimen with a spectacular arm and nerves of steel. Mendoza really turned the corner in his second year as a starter at Cal in 2024. The early summer consensus had Mendoza as a more top 75 pick and not in the quarterback one discussion where he has now entered. So Fernando Mendoza is currently the quarterback of the undefeated Indiana Hoosiers. 2 weeks ago, they blasted top 10, number 9 ranked Illinois, and Mendoza's heroics were a big part of why they were able to pull that off. Mendoza, just like we saw from the quote from the Jet Press, 6'5", 225 pounds. So he is the size that you are looking for from a first round picked NFL prospect. Really, really big dude. But I want to get into his strengths coming from NFL Draft Buzz. They have exceptional arm strength that allows them to attack every level of the field with impressive velocity and distance. Now, remember, when you're looking for a quarterback in the first round, you're looking for elite traits, and those elite traits are size, arm strength, athleticism, or elite processing. Mendoza has elite size at 6'5". You know, the weight isn't amazing, but 6'5" is what you're looking for. You can't, no matter how good your coaches are, they can never teach a quarterback to be taller. So 6'5" is what you want to draft. Exceptional arm strength. You want a quarterback with a rocket arm. Now, exceptional arm strength does not mean he can throw the ball as far as Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes, but he can throw the ball as far as like Justin Herbert, which is certainly very far. That's what you're looking for. Outstanding accuracy and ball placement, particularly on back shoulder throws and timing routes and tight coverage. You know, quarterbacks got to be accurate. That's how you make your, get first downs, pick up completions. Rex Ryan said you can win the game off add up how many completions you have plus rushing attempts. And if you outscore the other team in those two metrics combined, then you're going to win the game. So accuracy is always a big talking point when it comes to a quarterback, especially a quarterback coming out of the first round. They also have, this demonstrates advanced pocket pressure and toughness, pocket presence and toughness, standing tall under pressure to deliver strikes downfield. Now, when you are 6'5", 225, you know that you have a big enough frame to absorb hits should you do end up getting hit in the pocket, but it's important to be comfortable when you're in the pocket. Understand that your offensive linemen are getting paid a lot of money to protect you. They're good at their job. Especially in the New York Jets case, we have spent a ton of high round draft capital to build out that offensive line to protect whatever quarterback is in there. And you can't be drifting left or right. You got to keep your feet calm, keep them under you, right under your shoulders, and make sure you are moving your feet in, conjugation with when the routes are supposed to be open. Make sure you're staying in the timing of the play to make sure everything's running smoothly. Very important to have calm feet in the pocket. He combines that with a quick release mechanism, which prevents long delivery becoming a liability in short yardage passing situations. In the short game, when you're throwing a slant route, milliseconds can be the difference between that defender getting his hand in front of the ball or the ball hitting your wide receiver right in the chest. A quick release is very important for that. I think it's more important for if the pass rush is coming around the outside, the worst place you want to get hit as a quarterback is on the arm when you're throwing the ball. That's how you can get a UCL tear, which can end the season for a quarterback. We watched that with Carson Beck in college football last season, going in the SEC championship game, went back to throw on a Hail Mary, got hit in the elbow, towards UCL, and then Georgia never won another game. So that's a problem. Don't want that happening. Or more importantly, more likely to happen if you watched last Sunday night, Green Bay versus the Dallas Cowboys. At the end of the first half, Jordan Love, release not fast enough, puts the ball up, gets hit, fumbles, easy points for the Dallas Cowboys. They converted that into a touchdown. High football IQ shows up in pre-snap reads, audibles, and understanding of defensive leverage. So high IQ matters. If you watch a lot of college football, you will notice something that doesn't happen in the NFL. If a quarterback is audibling, usually they don't call the stuff out at the line. They stand up and they turn to the sidelines, and it looks really bad. It looks like what are we doing? No one even understands the play. That's what happens when the coach is making all the audibles based on the defensive alignment instead of the quarterback. But in Indiana's case, this guy, Fernando Mendoza, he is calling the shots himself, which shows that will be more capable, and it will be less of a learning curve for him to do that in the NFL. Because, of course, no one looks at the sidelines like that in the NFL. You're making your audibles. You get the play call before it. Usually you call 2 plays. You got the first play. You don't like the look. You kill it or can it to go to the next play, and you got to get all that out before the play even starts. Mendoza has the IQ necessary to run this kind of stuff. You'll obviously want to make sure your quarterback is a smart dude at the same time. Mobility and athleticism create opportunities outside the pocket while maintaining timing and accuracy on the move. Just more accuracy. Make sure you got to be a little bit mobile. Not every quarterback needs to be Lamar Jackson, but you want to have a quarterback who, when the pocket breaks down, and if there is a free blitzer, the play isn't just over. You want a guy who's going to have an opportunity to get away from those free rushers and still turn a nothing play into something. Clutch performer in critical moments, excelling in 2-minute situations and third down conversions. The 2 most important plays for a quarterback where quarterbacks need to make their money is on third down, converting a high amount of third downs. Right now, the New York Jets are one of the worst teams in the NFL in third down conversion rate and in 2-minute drills at the end of the halves and games. That's where games can be won and lost. You got to make sure you're winning the final 4 minutes of halves. That's how you can win games. And then, of course, closing games out at the end in a fourth quarter, 2-minute drill type of situation. It's been a long time since a New York Jets quarterback was able to accomplish something like that. Physical frame at 6'5" provides ideal strength for the position with room to add more bulk. This was my first point. 6'5", you can't teach him to get taller. That's what you're looking for when it comes to height. So if we want to just quickly go through our elite traits, got the size. He has some arm strength, but not elite. The physicality, I think NFL Draft Buzz is overhyping it a little bit, or with his athleticism. If you watch Tyler Shuck, he's kind of on the same level of athletic as Tyler Shuck, where, they're sneaky athletic, but you're not going to call run plays for him. And then, his processing, pretty good. Also not elite, but it doesn't have to be elite because you just need one elite trait, and he has the size that we are looking for. Now, onto his weaknesses. Take sacks at an alarming rate, getting brought down on 9.4% of dropbacks in 2024. So that's absolutely insane. Some of that can be attributed to the Cal offensive line. Remember, he was at Cal before transferring this season to the University of Indiana. So we heard he stands tall in the pocket, but this bullet point makes you think, is he really, just calm in the pocket, or is he oblivious? Because there's a difference. Some quarterbacks in the pocket, if you played Madden, they used to have these hidden traits. Every player had a trait, and one of the traits was pocket presence, and some of the quarterbacks would be oblivious, and then some of the quarterbacks would be, so oblivious would be they had no idea what was going on around them, and they would just sit in the pocket. Like Will Levis, he would just sit in the pocket, and it would have no idea when a guy was behind him, and you would look around and be like, wow, this is great, he's not panicking, and then he would get hit, and you would say, oh, he might not even know those guys are coming. And the opposite side of that is paranoid, where you're like Shedeur Sanders or Justin Fields, where they're sitting in the pocket, their feet are going up and down, their feet are moving at times where their feet should be solid and just right on the ground. They're drifting left and right in the pocket, and they're making it harder for their guys to protect them because they are so scared that guys are coming, and they're dropping their eyes from reading the field down to the defensive line, down to the pass rush, and they're making mistakes because they're not able to read the field properly. So that is, the question has to be asked, is he actually just super calm in the pocket, and does he have great pocket presence, or is he just oblivious to the pass rush coming his way? Needs to add significant strength and bulk to withstand the physical demands at the next level. I was going to say 6'5" is good. 225 for that frame, I'm not super impressed with. Got to bulk that up a little bit. sometimes holds onto the ball too long, preferring pocket passing over scrambling when protection breaks down. We got great running backs to run the football. I'm not worried about that. I know Aaron Glenn definitely wants a running quarterback, which makes me think that he's not going to love Fernando Mendoza, but I prefer my quarterbacks to be elite passers first, and then we'll work out the run game behind that. Injury concerns after missing time in multiple games due to the beating he absorbed behind Cal's offensive line, getting sacked on almost 10% of dropbacks. You're going to get injured. It's like the Cincinnati Bengals. When Joe Burrow gets hit as much as he gets hit, he is going to get hurt. It's not a coincidence that he's hurt every other year. He gets hit way too much. If you've seen the stats, he's been hit to start his career more than Andrew Luck was. So it's really rough for him. Limited experience against elite competition may require an adjustment period at the next level. This bullet point could probably be wiped away by the end of the season. Indiana is going to see they're not going to see Ohio State. They're going to see Penn State, I believe. They're going to see elite teams. And then at the end of the year, they're probably going to make the playoffs as well. So Indiana is going to see some stronger competition. I don't think that's a problem at the current moment. But Justin Fields right now hasn't started out, as hot as people wanted him to. But the thing that Justin Fields brings to the table that Fernando Mendoza doesn't is that elite athleticism that I have no doubt Aaron Glenn is looking for. He wants his run game to be able to call those RPOs and, more importantly, read options for the quarterback to run the ball as well, which makes me feel like Fernando Mendoza, even if he is a consensus number one quarterback in this draft class, I don't think he's going to be the New York Jets number one quarterback. They really seem like they are, I don't want to say, I'm just going to say it. It feels like they're banking on Lenore's Sellers to be coming out this season, but he has a little bit more Anthony Richardson and he's a little bit less Jaden Daniels right now. He's got to look a lot better. I just got the film from their game against Kentucky, which he was back from the concussion that he suffered, I believe. So we got to double check that. But I will take a look at that film as well, just to see exactly where we are on Lenore's Sellers. But outside of the first drive against Virginia Tech, Lenore Sellers just didn't look that impressive. So where's Aaron Glenn going to find his super athletic quarterback? That wouldn't be Mendoza. It can be Fields for one more year, but what is really your passing offense's upside if you have Justin Fields? Maybe he develops. Hopefully he develops. I hope we have the quarterback already on the roster and we don't have to spend a top first round pick to go get another quarterback. But, we're going to have to see. Only time will tell. But that's what I got for this video. If you stuck around this long, thank you for watching. Hit that like button if you have not already. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Go Jets.